Hello, 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 hello. Thank you for taking the time to be here. And we're going to cover the one a day letter T. Today, yesterday we weren't able to make a film because we were being tested. We had some exams to do, some qualifications we were running for, so it went late into the night. So today we're going to cover the letter T, and it's going to be about tests. Tests, yes. COVID has three basic tests, three basic types of tests. There are the molecular tests, which are the PCR tests that you're hearing every day, which go to Cambridge and get done, or other labs. There are the antigen tests, which test for the presence of the virus in the system. And there are the antibody tests, which tests for the antibodies against the virus in the system. Those three types of tests are the ones that we normally hear of. Now, for example, in Kenya, the molecular tests, which are the PCR tests, are done, and your results can take any time from 48 hours to 5 days or even longer. They are done using the PCR system, which is polymerase chain reaction, whereby the DNA of suspect DNA is replicated in a system, and to the point that it is magnified such an amount that scientists can now be able to focus and do detailed work on it. It's a replication process. So that's how they do it. They get the little sample that you give, like a nasal swab or in the cheek swab, whatever it is, and that is used to generate a profile. And that profile then generates a positive or negative response. So there are a lot of reagents in use. The swab has to be done properly. It has to be kept. There's a process. That is the molecular test. The antigen tests are a group of tests which are in the rapid category of tests, like a 15-minute test, saliva test, and so on, blood tests. And you can find that there are many tests in that kind. There's the famous Abbott test, which is an antigen test, and it has a sensitivity of 97.2% and a specificity of 98.5%. But the gold standard still remains the PCR tests. That is the one that tells the msema kweli, that one. On the other hand, there is the antibody test. Now, the antibody tests are also known as serology tests. They are the tests that are done after to tell the story before. Let me explain. An antibody test is done, and if you turn positive for an antibody test, what happens, it indicates that you had the virus, you fought the virus, and you overcame the virus. Now, antibody tests can be used to tell the age of a virus because they tell the history of the virus in the society. Antibody tests are great. Like when New York was under a lot of deaths, they did an antibody test and found like 20% of the people had already passed through the virus before. So it extended the earliest arrival of the virus to around December. In France, they actually took samples of strange illness which people died, and when they tested them, they found that the virus had actually hit France maybe around Christmas, or if not earlier. All these things tell you a story. The tests are there to tell you a story. The molecular tests are there to tell you with specificity, with accuracy, that the virus is in the system. The antigen tests are there to give you that answer in speed, so you can do a rapid test and they are there. And the last thing is that the antibody tells you how long the virus has been in the society and how many people are resistant. Are we heading toward the herd immunity everyone's talking about? Who knows? Now, those are the types of tests that are done for COVID-19. But they're also done for other things. There are PCR tests for HIV and other things. So testing is important so that we can know. Testing is for knowledge. However, the inspirational part of this talk also talks about testing, and we're talking about the testing of your faith. You see, it says that in the book of James chapter 1 verses 3 to 5, it says, "Be assured that the testing of your faith through experience produces endurance, leading to spiritual maturity and inner peace. And let endurance have its perfect result, and do a thorough work, so that you may be perfect and completely developed in your faith, lacking nothing. If any of you lacks wisdom to guide him through a decision or circumstance, he is to ask of our benevolent God, who gives to everyone generously and without rebuke or blame, and it will be given to him." You see, the testing of your faith builds endurance. Ladies and gentlemen, we have endured lockdowns, we have endured scares, we have endured tests, we've endured lacking, we've endured joblessness, we've endured so many things because that testing of our faith builds endurance. And that's why I have been saying for months now that we're going to beat COVID-19 because the testing produces a testimony which produces a result. So I urge you guys not to give up, not to give in, not to lose hope. We are being tested. Tested by the powers that be, tested by a virus, tested by the Lord, and we will come out stronger than ever. Bolder and brighter, our stars will shine. I leave you with the hope for tomorrow because today we are tested and tomorrow we will be trusted. Thank you. God bless you. Have yourself a wonderful, wonderful Sunday and enjoy the presence of the Lord. And a little knowledge about testing didn't hurt anyone either. Good night. Take care.